This is the ATI Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the ATI Podcast. Barrett here. We've got a special on-site taking place today here at the Record Space in St. Louis. We've got Josh, we've got Ridge from the Waxing On piece.
Howdy.
You guys have heard him on the Killers, Cults, Conspiracy series of our podcast as well, so you know all these rapscallions here today. And in a moment, we'll be joined by Don, the shop owner here of the Record Space. But we're going to start things off, at least on this first part of the feed, doing our new segment called What's in My Sack. So it's a little play on What's in My Bag, if you've ever watched that on YouTube.
Oh, you guys
And
like actual buying records? I was going to bring my sack out.
oh,
You
well, you can definitely do that, but there's
Not
a bathroom, in that
Okay.
direction, I believe.
All right.
So
Not public.
we're just going to kind of quickly go through some of the things that we purchased today here at the Record Space. But while we're getting our materials ready, I just want to stress the amazing variety that they have here
Yes.
and selection.
most definitely.
Whenever you come to these small St. Louis family-owned and operated stores such as this, there's an energy as soon as you walk into the place, and you realize that there's a passion behind the business, and you can just see it, just the ebbs and flows of the inventory that they have here,
Yeah.
and types of music selection, absolutely, and some of the more curated items that are inside the store as well. So there's a good variety, and lots to see, lots to do.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
whether you have an interest in collecting any type of physical media, quite frankly, I've even seen some comic collections, some books, things of that ilk, but they got vinyls, tapes, CDs,
film nostalgic film
yep.
stuff.
film in various formats, VHS.
The atmosphere is just amazing.
Yep. And the staff is very kind and very accommodating as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
So just really can't speak highly enough of the business that they have here, the Record Space in St. Louis, and a little bit closer to us than we initially thought.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be, hour 15-minute, hour and 20-minute drive, but no, it only took us, 50 minutes to get up here?
55 minutes,
55 minutes, something like that. So, yeah.
Easy traffic.
So it's close
especially-
to down home, so you guys, no excuses.
Yeah,
Get up
especially
here.
if you're any of our Farmington area listeners, of course. This is not a strenuous drive whatsoever.
Right.
And so it's definitely a place worth checking out. I know that they're going to have some specials going on here on Record Store Day, which we'll speak about with Don when he's on the scene today. But first, let's get things kicked off and start talking about what we bought today. And Jake was unable to make it with us here today. Jake Jackson, Ridge's brother,
he
also
won't
on
be
Waxing
here.
On.
He's
He
got
had a
to get a suit.
conflicting appointment today.
He's getting a tux?
Yeah.
Who's one of his friends getting married?
Yeah. I think like all of them are or something. I don't know.
They're all
He's
getting married at once.
he has a bunch of weddings to go to this year.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. But yeah.
So, but Jake did give Rich and I a list of things to look out for. I found a few picks for him. Rich found a few picks for him. So Rich is going to show those off for Jake today as well to kind of help fill in. Probably not going to get into the weeds too much. It's like track listing and that sort of stuff. That's going to be more on the waxing side of things.
We might
And I
see
think
some of the stuff on the channel.
yeah, and Ridge and Jake will be covering their pieces on that a little bit more extensively. So we might give like a little quick reason why, a favorite band or whatever the case is, or a favorite track or something like that. But other than that, we're just going to kind of burn through it. You guys ready to get started?
I'm ready. I can burn through.
All right, awesome.
Who's going first?
Ridge, go ahead and present something.
I already
for
have
somebody.
these out, so I'll do Jake's. Found here
Two Jakies.
was
Who you got?
Gorilla Biscuit.
Oh.
Start today.
Yeah,
He's a big Gorilla Biscuit fan.
I
I
actually love that
so-
album. It's like
I almost got that one for myself, but
the cover
Jake did
of
ask me to look
So-
out for it.
That's Jake's.
Nice color biscuit.
And then I found this Rancid Essentials
That's pretty dope.
20th anniversary 7-inch set.
Wow.
That's
So
pretty awesome.
that'd be cool. I sent him that, and he was pretty into it. So it's like their 1993 16-track remasters on 45.
93, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's all I got for you, Jake. Sorry about that. All right. You want to go, Barrett, or you want me to?
I'll toss a couple, and we can split it up. Throw Josh in there, too. So let me just start with my cassettes real quickly that I picked out here. So quite the cassette collection. One thing we failed to mention earlier is the emphasis and focus on local music. And there's quite a few local artists items inside of the store here, bands that we've talked to, covered, or in some way or another are associated with each other. So things like Bastard, Fister, you've seen that stuff here. Sisser is here as well.
Yeah.
One band that I liked a lot that unfortunately isn't still at it, I believe, here from St. Louis, kind of a hardcore band in that wheelhouse, is Everything Went Black.
Yes, was score, man. And the pricing is just perfect.
Yeah, great. I got a great deal, 666, can't beat the price, on each tape. So I got 2 Everything Went Black albums, Most Thin and Night Terrors. And I saw these guys open for Converge, various other bands in St. Louis whenever they were active, and they were one of my favorite St. Louis bands. So that's my tapes I picked up today.
Nice score. Nice. Good job.
Rich, what you got?
All right. Tape side. I only got 1 tape. I've been kind of buying more records lately than tapes, but
yeah.
I don't know too much about this band. I've seen a lot about them, like plugged on different shows and everything. So I seen the tape, reasonable price, $666. So I picked it up, but it's a band called Slow Damage.
Nice.
I believe from St. Louis, but yeah, that was kind of I like to do some blind buys and
that'd be good
where
for
I can.
and stuff too, man.
Yeah. So, you want me to go for a couple more?
Yeah, throw in a couple vinyls while we're at it.
What I got here.
I'll let Josh go.
This is a record that I've always loved since I was younger. Always wanted it and found it. Isis the Red Sea.
Jealous you snatched that one up.
Clear and white vinyl. Oh, there's another copy over there, but it's the
looks
it's
like
the
I'm making another
OG.
purchase.
It's like
The black
and white, I think.
Doesn't make me any difference.
Okay, what do I got here?
Maxing out the credit cards today.
This is one thing that's awesome is the prices are very good.
No, yeah,
and the
absolutely.
quality of the media is amazing.
Right. Yeah.
But I was very surprised to find these here. Columbia, any of our Columbia friends who might be watching, there's a band called New Tongues from Columbia. I can't remember if Meyer Giants played with them, but I've seen them play before.
I feel like we
Cafe
did once.
Berlin.
Yeah.
But the dudes are awesome. They always came to the Meyer Giants shows, very kind. But I actually found 3 of their LPs here.
Oh, nice.
And so I was going to buy them all a while back, around early 2020.
Yeah.
But something happened and I didn't get it. So stoked to have those.
Yeah.
Burn through some more. Neil Young, Live Rust.
Yeah.
Classic.
Another great pick.
Love that record.
One of my all-time favorite artists and human beings.
And Alkaline Trio, goddammit.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Since I was a youngster, I
Great
still
pick.
listen to that
Great
album.
pick.
Probably my favorite Alkaline Trio album. And then my last one is Kiss Alive.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to start working on building up my Kiss collection. So,
There you go.
yeah, I'll do the earlier stuff, and then Jake can do the disco Kiss and
Disco Kid.
makeup
Right,
Kiss.
right.
So that's all what I picked up here today.
Josh, you want to throw your pick
Fantastic
in?
Yeah, I just grabbed the one. I bought a new toy yesterday, so I had to be a little careful with my money. So, but yeah, Tearing the Fabric of Life by Knock Loose. It's this way, I forgot.
There you go.
Love this band. Felt like they did something new, but still stayed true to their original sound.
Yeah.
Paid homage to their fans. So yeah, this one was a must grab for me. Actually, Barrett found it and handed it to me and said, "Here you go." So I'm excited for this one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good album.
Yeah, great album.
So my scatterbrained ass, every time I come into a record store, I tell myself I'm going to go look for these specific artists, but then I find myself thumbing through every individual pick, regardless of genre and so on. I always tell myself I'm going to target maybe a specific genre to try and beef up in my catalog and my repertoire that I have in my record collection. But today I just kind of went scatterbrained Barrett Lewis. So
Nothing wrong with that.
Some good picks, though.
yeah, an album I've wanted to get for some time, The Stooges' Funhouse. This is a newer remastered version, not an original. It's got the half red and half black vinyl. So I'm really curious to see what that looks like whenever I go to open her up. This one I refrained from purchasing online, but I'm glad that I did because I was able to pick it up here in the shop and just release it in the last few weeks. Is Cave-In's re-release of Until Your Heartbeat Stops. Anybody that knows me, Cave-In's one of my absolute favorite bands. As far as current bands, probably top 3 without question.
Yeah.
Up there with Converge and some other artists, but Cave-In, of course, those Boston boys and those Roots. Love these guys.
That is by far my favorite Cave-In record.
It's a great album.
Now this pick
I'm excited about. So I've been trying to beef up my comedy collection also, and there's a lot of finds that you can get in the George Carlin documentary. Of course, came out last year as well, which has reignited my passion for George Carlin once again. And so I got George Carlin and Affton, and I did not have this one. Class Clown I have on cassette, so this is the only 2 pieces I have in my collection now.
There's not a lot of young Carlin media out there too, so it's cool. You know,
I mean, if there is, it's not in great condition,
right.
And this is, and again, that's another plus on the shop that we can hammer on is the fact that I think there's an intent here to choose used media that's in good condition and sell it, and not try and pass along something in bad shape. Right. As you can see at some other shops, unfortunately.
Right.
Deftones, it might be in that discussion of my top 3 favorite current bands. As they've gotten older, they've gotten a little bit more experimental with their sound and things like that. Diamond Eyes, I feel like, was a game changer for them. Yes. And they started to get a little doomier with their riffs. I mean, they've always been heavy, but I just feel like that they don't care anymore. And they're just going to make the music that they want to make. Right. So, and that's definitely evident on their most recent album, Ohms. A lot of Sabbathy riffs on it. The production on it is fantastic as well. So I was happy to pick that up today. It's been on my to-get list.
Excellent.
Another all-time favorite heavy band for me is going to be Dillinger Escape Plan.
Yes.
I've been beefing up my Dillinger and Escape Plan. I got the reissue of Calculating Infinity recently. I got Ironworks, and now I have Disassociation, which when this record came out, I saw them tour on this album on the Thursday Farewell Tour.
Oh, wow.
And they tore the pageant up whenever they played, or not the pageant, it was, what was it? Pops. So I believe it was on this album. Well, now that I'm looking at the copyright date, I'm not sure. But maybe they just released it on that tape. And then my last piece of vinyl I picked up today, I really got into the replacements about a little late, quite frankly, about 2015, 2016. And whenever I started kind of like exercising and things, just taking care of myself. And this was a band that I just constantly listened to in that time.
Motivating.
Do cardio and listen to the replacements, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
So, and a band that has kind of had a comeback in recent years. They had notoriously some attitude problems and were banned from playing at places and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they were able to come back to 30 Rock Studio about that same time that I got into them and perform. I believe it was on SNL for the first time, and after they'd been banned by Lorne Michaels long before that, I believe it was. So, big fan of the replacements also.
They have a copy of Tim over there, too, which is...
I must have overlooked that entirely as well.
A great replacements record.
Yeah.
I was actually looking for that.
They don't have
we were checking out, and I was like, oh, I'm going to throw that one in the stack, which I might just go back over and look for it and buy it, too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, yeah, a lot of great stuff. And, I mean, we've been here for, 2 hours, boys, plus, and we still haven't even looked through everything that's here. I think it's kind of bigger on the inside, kind of the Doctor Who philosophy, the TARDIS. This place is kind of like the TARDIS. You come inside and you see just so much. It's almost overwhelming.
I haven't even got to really look at the CDs.
And in the back of the house, there's a ton of, like Rich mentioned earlier, physical movie media and collectibles and masks. Yeah. Former guests of the show have some featured items here. Logan Cole has a mask here. Maxine 13 has some paintings, some canvases here as well. It's just kind of one of those things. Everything's kind of synergy and tied into one another. And kind of funny how all that works. So I'm really looking forward to sitting down here and discussing things with Don before long. And we're going to talk about kind of his motivations, starting the shop, the history here, all that fun stuff as well. Fellas, it's been a successful trip. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a great place. I'm glad we found it. I plan to frequent it.
And one other thing I want to mention before we hop off here and transition things over with our conversation with Don is that there's things outside the box. And I know we kind of emphasized that to start, but even just sitting here looking around ground level, there is 7 inches. There is actual,
inches.
Yeah. There's storage containers for tapes, cassettes. There's
Record
receivers,
players, right, yeah.
CD players. You know, if you're looking to beef up your home audio, turntables,
T-shirt,
speakers, monitors. I mean, you think of it, anything music related is
I didn't see
here.
those sweet T-Rex shirts with the
That T-Rex shirt's phenomenal, and another band I should have looked for because I don't have much T-Rex in my collection as well. So, but yeah, it's just incredible, the selection here.
Yeah.
And if you're listening closely enough, you may hear the Scissor album playing in the background now. So here we go with that synergy thing again. Sounds a little familiar, huh?
Yeah, I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so just can't say enough good things about the record store here in St. Louis. We're, of course, going to tag them in our social media so they're easily accessible and found. But they also have a lot of cool promotions coming up for Record Store Day, which is just 1 week from today as we record, 4/15. It's going to be on 4/22. And they've got some live shows, some punk bands playing here, and just a lot of cool stuff going on. So we'll transition over to speaking to Don about that as well.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
So, fellas, we're going to get things ready to turn over to our interview with Don here at the record store. This is Barrett from the ATI Podcast. Each week, Josh and I discuss current events, pop culture, music, TV, movies, politics, sports. Nothing is out of bounds. You can also tune in to learn about rising artists, small businesses. Whether it's music, graphic design, filmmaking, or even a brick-and-mortar mom-and-pop shop, we will be spotlighting folks and their endeavors. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Anchor, or anywhere you enjoy your podcasts. Just search ATI Podcast. We would like to thank you for your continued support, and as always, please stay safe out there.
Hey, this is Josh from ATI Podcast. For show updates and news about the podcast, follow us on social media. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/ATI Podcast 22, on Twitter at podcast_ATI, on Instagram at the ATI Podcast, on TikTok at ATI Podcast. DMs are always welcome. Have a question for the show? You can always email us at atipodcastquestions@gmail.com. Stay safe out there.